Afrotech Nation, it's your boy. Woo! Woke up with a little animosity in my heart because I'm talking to the non-nerds out there that's speaking on things that you got no clue about. But you know what we do, Afro Texans? We gonna start with me, you, and the crew. Now pull up, Pony.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center, hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, there's no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different. Blindfold on
Afrotech Nation, it's your boy T3 Geek Town. Let's get down for the clown. Before we do that, let's pay these bills. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Come talk to your boy. 329 prescribers up in the game. I appreciate everybody that comes through. You've been out there telling your mama, been telling your friends, but that's not what we come up in here today. Let's talk about the X-Men. Let's talk about the geek universe. Let's talk about all things collaboration that's been going on. There has been a lot of vitriol out there in the game for Sadie Sink's character as Jean Grey. And for me to even know an actress's name says a lot. That means y'all been talking too much. Number two, we're going to talk about the X-Men a little bit too and talk about the things that is going down and pumping out and all the hate that is out there in this game. But I'm so sick of everybody gotten something to say that's never ever picked up a comic book before. If you want to go out and trash the movie and not enjoy it, that's fine. But then to come and just speak on things that you have no clue about. First, let's start with Sadie Sink's character. I absolutely love the way they brought in Jean Grey here. I absolutely love the fact that she was technically the villain before you find out she wasn't the villain, that she was actually a victim of all the things that was going on. I actually love the way that they brought out this person, how she moved, how she acted, how she went about her day-to-day activity. She was a woman who was broken and who was hurt and who was determined to find her sister by any means necessary. Let's really dive into the situation. First and foremost, everybody hollering about she didn't have to pay any cost, she didn't have to pay any price, she didn't go to jail, she wasn't in prison. Sir, this is a comic book. Who in the comic book world has owned that? Avengers, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, the Magneto, Professor X, like these are fictional characters in a fictional story that yes, they are bringing to a live action a universe, and you have no idea who these characters are, why they were based the way they were. And to bring in Jean Grey to based on how she is, to show that she is already broken, that Professor X is going to have to be the one to put her back together before she becomes broken again with the Dark Phoenix, before she understands everything that she is and eventually has one of the most powerful children in the Marvel universe. But you got to see the development and growth of the character, which means she started from the bottom, now we're here. You know what I'm saying? When she does everything that she does and everything that she goes with. This is by far the essence of the X-Men. So let's talk about the X-Men. The X-Men was their way of dealing with social society injustices in the comic book universe. These people could not say what they wanted to say out loud, whether it was they were too scared, they felt personally attacked, or just wanted to just keep their name anonymous, but they wanted to still push out the agenda of what the world looks like. And the X-Men was the embodiment of that. Professor X is the embodiment of the dream of Martin Luther King. Magneto is the embodiment of Malcolm X by any means necessary. All the characters, from hate to discrimination, to segregation, to enslavement, they just touched on all the things that's out there in the universe, but they use Marvel and just different mutants to show how the world treats those that they deem different from them. So X-Men characters are broken in general across the board. Scott, let's talk about Cyclops. Cyclops I-beam becomes this from a portal from a universe. It's not that that his body is generating all this energy. When he opens his eyes are opening to a dimensional universe spot and is blasting across the ages. So yeah, he's a little hurt that he can't just look at his kid without burning them to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, let's go and get into Beast, who was a scientist, who was a man of science that believed in the greatness of the world, a philosopher, a man who loves to read, a man who loves his books and all things that is life, and turned into one of the most hideous looking things in this world, where he cannot just have a normal conversation without somebody running away from him in fear. Absolutely, I love. And again, I say I love, because the agency in which that we're capturing mutants is the agency that is trying to take the place of Shield. And we know Shield went from Shield to Hydra to this new agency. And you came across this new agency when you saw Wonder Man. And then that was a part of the whole going down on that. You came across this new agency when you saw Wanda going against the Age of Ultron. Well, not Ultron, but Vision, excuse me. When she found Vision and realized that everything she had created was out of magic. Like, you come across this agency doing crazy things, trying to find a way to control mutants. Unfortunately, Spider-Man has created the collar, the piece, the device that will help them create Genosha, where they will build the collars that will link down and capture and enslave so many mutants that is going to come across the Age of Time, which we will see Sentinels in full form and up close and in color with Avengers Doomsday. Like, all those that are speaking about characters that you have no clue about. You have never read a comic. You don't know the history. You don't know the background. We're going to talk about the Rogue character that was picked. Yes, it is the young lady who was in Obsession. But if you was a real fan, if you was a real comic booky hooky, you know what I'm saying, you would have known that she actually got her previous and beginning start in Superman, playing the girlfriend, technically ex-girlfriend slash, and we're not sure what we are, of Superboy, one of Superman's children, and getting that whole piece going on. There is so many things that I'm waiting to see. Let's see her play her part. Let's see her play her part. We have what's his Driver coming in as Mr. Sinister, one of the most evil, darkest, downright methodical scientist, gene hacking dude in the world. Oh my gosh, which means we could possibly get a clone of Jean Grey, who will give birth to your man Cable, who will finally go back to the future and fight Apocalypse, raised by his sister that he didn't even know that was his until later on in the game. You know what makes me mad is that we are finally getting some of the most iconic characters and done in a phenomenal fashion. And we have gotten so far in this TikTok, Instagram, instant gratification universe that you forgot the bare necessities. You wasn't with us when we were sitting in the halls reading the comic books. Where were you when we were sitting back being bullied by the man in the back because we decided we wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons instead of going in these streets? You know what I'm saying? Where were you when we were out and being talked about and clowned on because we had glasses and tape? And yes, your man had tape in the middle of his glasses because he couldn't hold on to his stuff for nothing in the world, so his glasses always broke. But you know what? I could put these on you, and that's what made me one of the baddest nerds out there in the planet. Not every nerd had brothers and sisters and cousins and loved ones that had his back like that. You know what I'm saying? So all those out there talking about Sadie Sinks and all the Donald Drivers and the girl that's going to play Rogue and who's the new X-Men and this and so forth. Yes, there has been bad adaptations, and I will take those who have been down in the dirt, in the muck, reading the comic books from the beginning when we had that awful Sabretooth. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to talk about Fox's version of Sabretooth that actually showed up to Deadpool and Wolverine. Yo, I liked the first Fantastic Four. Yes, not the one that came up later on after you had the first two Johnny Storms and Chris Evans was Johnny Blaze. I liked that Fantastic Four. They were funny, they were good, and their chemistry was great. The one that came up after that, yeah, we're going to have to talk about it. Michael B. Jordan, that wasn't your role. But you know, it did its part and it did its thing. So all those that's got something to say, find your boy. Talk to me. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your vitriol. I know you got an opinion. It's going to be wrong. But you know what? I will listen to it anyway. Now let's talk about that Afro Tuck Nation news, because it's time to get and talk about the upcoming things coming up. Kick my music. Okay, fam, as of right now, two things went on sale. One, Dune 3, Dune 3 has dropped. Tickets are now on sale. It's only in IMAX because 4D is definitely not necessary, because you ain't gonna be moving enough in that for a 3-hour movie to go down the way it is. But it is also funny, if you caught my TikTok, they did move up their dates in which they are going to release this movie, because you gonna come out on the same day as Avengers Doomsday. You didn't want that smoke, so they're gonna actually move it to Monday, so they'll get some Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Come Thursday, you gonna fall off for a bit, and then, you know what I'm saying, maybe a month down the road you pick up your sales again and do that thing. What else is coming up? If you live in the San Diego area, Anime Night, September 21st. If you don't know what this is, Anime Night, for those that really loves a good anime, which your boy does, it's what they do is they give you 4 different versions of anime. You get an action, you get a rom-com, you get a random, and then you get a continuation. And so you be the first, before it drops on the Crunchyroll, to sit in the movie theaters and check out some of the newest animes that's being dropped out here before it comes to America and through the Crunchyroll app. And then usually about 2 to 3 months after the Anime Night, the new series, the new adaptation comes in. This is how we come across so many different animes that we are into and absolutely beloved across the board. You need to catch up and catch out what's going on with that. So pay attention to what's going on in this world. Hey, where's my song? It's time to get long. Here we go. What up, bro? Yes, thank you everybody for checking your boy out, because you know what it is. If you see your man's in the street, oh, hit him with the beats. Hit him with a jingle jangle, baby. Jingle jangle. Like, subscribe, share, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I thread even on there. What? Let's go.
Caught in the crossfire.